It's a perfect day to put on the skis in Salt Lake City, but even a better day to play college basketball. It's round 2 of the West Region here in Salt Lake City. LSU and Texas, one step away from the Sweet 16, the number 5 seed taking on the number 4 seed. The Tigers beat Southeast Missouri State in round 1. Texas took care of Indiana State, and later today here at the Huntsman Center, Wisconsin taking on the number seed in the West, the Arizona Wildcats. And hi everybody, Craig Bolerjack along with Barry Booker. Welcome inside here at the Huntsman Center. LSU a near first round casualty. Barry, they needed a late 3-pointer to move on to round 2.
Brian Bashara came up with a huge shot against Southeast Missouri State. Bashara had been struggling down the stretch of the season, but hit the biggest shot of the year so far for LSU to give them the 3-point lead. And then they had to sweat it out as Roderick Johnson almost sent it to overtime.
You talk about Texas, they've got the big man, the 7-footer, and also Stromile Swift. Those two will match up today and give us quite a show.
Stromile Swift, dominant in the middle, came up with 6 block shots yesterday. A little bit lethargic early in that ball game, but phenomenal down the stretch to help LSU move on.
Barry, talk about Texas because there's so much talk about the All-American, the 7-footer, and Chris Mim, but because of LSU and their physical nature, Mim's going to have some help.
And he gets a lot of help. He draws so much attention that frees up some of the other big guys for Texas. Owens had a perfect day the other day, 7 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line, 48 points between those 3 inside, and Mim leading the way.
All right, stay tuned. It's LSU and Texas. We'll have those starting lineups when we come back to Salt Lake City, the Huntsman Center, right after this. The Longhorns, Rick Barnes in his 2nd season has led Texas to a 24-8 record. Let's take a look at his lineup today. Chris Owens, 16 points off the bench in round 1 Thursday night. He'll get the start today. You'll also get a chance to see the All-American, the 7-footer, and Chris Mim. Darren Kelly along with Ivan Wagner and William Clay. For LSU, they will counter with the man who hit the game winner against Southeast Missouri State, Brian Bashara, Stromile Swift. Keep an eye on this young man. He can do it on both ends of the court, along with Jabari Smith, Taurus Bright, the freshman, and Lamont Rowland. And the head coach of the LSU Tigers in his 3rd season is John Brady. And he's done a terrific job at LSU, 27-5, and a new contract extension. It's on its way for John Brady. Here in Salt Lake City, it's Texas and LSU. Texas leads the series 17-10 in the last meeting, Barry. You got to go back December 19th to 1998. And if that's any indication of what we may see today, buckle up. Overtime game.
Last season, LSU came up with a win.
Texas defeated Indiana State in round 1 on Thursday, 77-61. And LSU knocked off Southeast Missouri State, of course, with that buzzer winner by Mr. Bashara, 64-61. A lot of anticipation about this game. Chris Mim did not practice yesterday. Barry, as you mentioned, he had flu symptoms, took a lot of fluids last night, got rest, and we'll see how long his endurance is going to last today because LSU will really try to beat him up.
No doubt. I talked to Chris Mim before the game and looked into his eyes. He looked strong today and said he's feeling a whole lot better, but not quite 100% for Texas.
Just underway in the steal. Tigers picking the pocket. It's rolling, driving, and a whistle.
These two ball clubs are mirror images of each other. Big in the middle, although LSU, as their nickname would suggest, Tigers, a little more athletic quickness as Lamont Rowland gets the steal on Kelly. And Texas, huge in the middle, that grade A Longhorn beef inside, trying to come up big today for Texas.
Darren Kelly whistled for the foul. Smith tried the long jumper, rebound, and the bucket wouldn't fall for Bashara. And Texas dodges a bullet early as they grab the rebound. Mim.
Strong inside play as expected. Brian Bashara from point-blank range couldn't get that one down. As LSU's happy that he hit the one that he took before that 3-pointer to beat Semo.
Play, driving, tipped by Mim.
Chris Mim following up, coming up with an easy basket inside.
Well, Mim had some foul trouble against Indiana State, but rallied back for 16 points, a rebound. Back the other way, another missed shot by LSU. Kelly controls it in the corner and flips it up to the front court to William Clay. 2-0 here early, 2nd round West Region in Salt Lake City.
Both these teams rely heavily on their big people, but when their guards play well and shoot well from the outside is when they are most effective.
Down low to Owens. Had a good look. Swift going up on the high rung of the ladder to grab the rebound.
We've seen great looks at the basket so far. Both teams maybe a little bit tight here, playing in the round of 16 of the NCAA tournament.
Barry, do you buy the situation with altitude here? Baton Rouge, sea level, humidity high. You come here, it's a dry climate. Altitude around 5,000 feet here at the Huntsman Center.
And in Baton Rouge, you almost have to chew the air before you breathe to get it down. But and this is a very different environment. I think it does have an impact on LSU.
One bucket scored here early, 2-0. It belongs to Mim on a tip-in. We've nearly played 2 minutes. Clay looking for the big fellow. The All-American gets the double team, able to shoot short. Good defense. Owens, though, on the backside, he gets the bucket. And he'll get a chance for a three-point play. Owens, such a strong factor against Indiana State Thursday off the bench. He is the great nephew of Jesse Owens, and just look at the way that man's built.
And LSU double teaming with big people. Stromae Swift left Chris Owens to come over and double team, and that allowed Owens to get the opening, come up with that offensive rebound, get the bucket, now a chance of the three-point play.
Owens a three-point play. Stromae Swift picks up the foul. So Texas jumping out to a 5-0 lead and put a little bit of backcourt pressure on LSU.
Both teams playing man-to-man defense as they usually do.
Swift, quick step, turns, and a whistle. Guarding him, Owens.
We've seen some quick whistles inside so far today. Owens, this is a very difficult matchup against one of the best power forwards in the nation. Stromae Swift, the co-SEC Player of the Year, the sophomore, trying to take it up and over Owens. Owens smacked him across the arm.
If there is a weakness in Stromae Swift's game from the free throw line, only 61%. Makes the first. So LSU breaks a bit of a drought at the 17:46 mark. And there's that front court of LSU. Swift, Smith, and Bashera.
Tough in the middle, hard to take it in the lane against those three big guys for LSU. They block a lot of shots close to the basket.
Will Swift connects on both free throws. 5-2, Longhorns by 3. Wagner on the drive, kicks it back out to the corner. Pull-up jumper, touched and knocked by Bashera. Now they want to run. Bashera taking steps and a turnover.
Bashera has a little bit of a problem with turnovers. Torres Bright put him in a difficult situation, trying to catch the basketball in traffic and gather himself. He traveled.
Those of you waiting to watch Utah and Michigan State, we will send you to that region momentarily. That game's scheduled to tip at 3:30 Eastern. Utah and Michigan State.
Greg Gumbel in New York will keep you updated on what happens between the Longhorns and the Tigers in Salt Lake City. But those of you expecting the tip-off of Utah against top seed Michigan State in the Midwest, we will send you off to Kevin Harlan and John Sunvold in Cleveland right after this.
Contact, no whistle. Had the ball up on the rim, it fell off, and it was tipped out. So another good look, but yet no bucket for LSU.
LSU has had 3 or 4 great opportunities to score from within 5 feet of the basket, but unable to get anything down so far. It's Stromae Swift with 2 from the line, the only points for the Tigers.
Whistle underneath. It will go to Smith.
Well, Jabari Smith at the other end of the court had a mismatch, a big height advantage. He took it strong to the basket and then wide open, just couldn't get it down. Couldn't decide whether to lay it in or try to dunk it.
Mim will shoot free throws, 71% shooter. Well, Texas has hit 206. They're not burning the floor up.
Welcome to the second round of the Midwest region. In game 1 earlier, Syracuse beat Kentucky by 2 to advance to the Sweet 16. And now at center stage, the #1 seed Michigan State Spartans take on Rick Majerus and his running Utes of Utah, the 8th seed in the Midwest. Utah with a slugfest against St. Louis on Thursday, and Michigan State squashing Valparaiso on Thursday night. Hi again, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside John Sunbold. 3 great players for Michigan State kind of give the storyline for the Spartans.
Well, and the leader of the band amongst those players, Mateen Cleaves. And when Cleaves gets it going, Michigan State is awesome. He does everything. Runs the floor, does it, puts the passes on, can score it when he's open, knocks in the shots. The true leader of what they want to do and get accomplished. He is the coach on the floor. And when you talk about the 3 men from Flint, here they are: Cleaves, Bell, and Peterson. Mo Peterson, Big Ten Player of the Year. Charlie Bell, the first scoreless game he's had all season on Thursday, but they didn't need him to score. Expect him to play better this afternoon.
Utah comes in today real banged up.
Well, really banged up. The St. Louis game was rough. It was tumbly. Take a look at the list. Killian will not play. He hurt his knee. Altoff's going to give it a shot. The big center averaging nearly 10 points a game. Adam Sharp is questionable. Expect Rick Majerus to slow the ball game down and maybe have a couple of junk defenses.
And the coach right there, Rick Majerus, 11th season at Utah, one of the nation's best coaches. He began as an assistant with Al McGuire at Marquette, and then was a head coach at Ball State before coming to the Utah program in Salt Lake City. And the Utes starting 5, Alex Jensen, their big gun, the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Menola, Cullen, Tony Harvey, and Phil Johnson. Johnson hit the game-winning shot the other night against St. Louis, just a sophomore. And for the Spartans, a great group. Morris Peterson, in one poll, he was the Big Ten Player of the Year, and a 5th-year senior. A.J. Granger, Andre Hudson, Mateen Cleaves, who is the all-time Big Ten career assist leader, and the great Charlie Bell, coached by Tom Izzo, now in his 5th season as the head coach, John, but for 12 years before that, he was the #1 assistant for Judd Heathcote with the Spartans in East Lansing.
Very familiar to Spartan fans. Went to the Final Four a year ago. And his team is, by a lot of people, odds-on favorite to get back to the Final Four, maybe win a national championship. Powerful group.
Our officials today, Gerald Brudeau, Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Lopes. So a full house, and a bit shaken still from the early game today, with Syracuse beating Kentucky by a 52-50 count. Utah leads the series with Michigan State. And the last meeting, John, a very interesting one back in 1991.
Well, and players on these squads don't care about numbers when you get there, and it's way back then. There you see Nate Altoff, who has a back injury, struggled playing in the St. Louis game, came out about 10-minute mark in the second half and still walking around. They tried to get some work done yesterday afternoon.
And John, if you're Rick Majerus and you're facing the tremendous firepower of Michigan State, your team is depleted as Majerus's is. How do you approach this great Spartan team, the #1 seed?
Well, you probably have to do things you're not accustomed to doing. Changing defenses, may see a box and one, triangle and two. They're traditionally a man-to-man team. And really find the list game where they get hurt, control the tempo offensively.
Michigan State has won 15 of 17 games, 6 consecutive, and here we go as Hudson and Menola jump it. And picked up by Mateen Cleaves of Michigan State, who penetrates right off the bat and throws up a wild-looking shot. Rebound by Utah.
Expect Utah to rebound extremely well. They're big and strong inside, fundamentally sound in the defensive end.
Here's Menola from Helsinki, Finland, prying his way inside on Hudson and finds 2.
A more aggressive Menola already the first play of the game than we saw on Thursday night against St. Louis.
That's the only way they're going to win today.
Yeah, they've got to be aggressive. They've got to attack a tough Spartan defense.
Hudson against Menola inside, plowing his way for 2 points.
Nice move by Hudson. He loves to go normally to his right shoulder, and Menola guard him on his right shoulder. Hudson simply turned back to the left shoulder, laid it in. Michigan State defense, Kevin, extremely difficult to run your offense against.
Why so?
Well, they deny everything. They cut off the passes. They make you go backdoor. They make you do things you're not accustomed to doing.
Menola with the spinner. He's hit 2 in a row. One driving off the baseline, and with the corkscrew jumper right there, gives the Utes a 2-point lead.
Michigan State quickly on top of this Ute team.
Hudson backing in, doing the same thing before. Here's A.J. Granger shuffling it off to Charlie Bell. Bell picked up by Johnson. Granger with a sleight of hand move to his left, and Harvey the rebound.
Well, Rick Majerus has said right now we're not taking the air out of the ball. We're going to come play. We're going to go right at you.
You like that?
I do like it. You know why? It gives your kids confidence. You come out and say, hey, we're not going to back off. We're going to attack. We're going to shoot it.
Here's Jensen, the conference player of the year. Johnson hit the game-winning shot. Tony Harvey runs the offense and launches a three. Rebound by A.J. Granger, a fifth-year senior. Cleaves around the defense and squeezes the pass into Hudson. He was double-teamed, and Tony Harvey of Utah picks up his first foul.
Hudson that time went back to his strength. When his back is to the basket, Andre likes to fake left and then go back to that right shoulder.
If you would have seen the pace that Majerus and the St. Louis group had to work with the other night, you cannot believe what you're watching right now because the tempo is so much more up and going.
That Michigan State will force that a little bit on the depth. They will put some pressure on you, make it up-tempo, and they push it offensively. Good curl by Mo Peterson.
Slicing inside is Mo Peterson. He is also a fifth-year senior. And first-team All-Big Ten, like he was a season ago, coming off the bench as a sixth man in the Big Ten. Peterson denying the pass. Great defense by Peterson, getting in the way of Jensen.
Well, Mo Peterson is a three-man. Rick Majerus simply said, it's body by God. It's a perfect three-man, he said yesterday.
I wonder if Rick looks at his body and says a body by God. Cleaves. Wide open, Metal and dropped down on the defense, and Cleaves is open to fire and hits the two.
Well, he'll make the open looks. He makes most of the ones he has to make. Not a great outside shooter, but great under pressure.
Here's Jensen to Cullen from Chelan, Washington.
Motion offense. They set a lot of screens, try to get some cuts around some curls.
Granger is on Cullen. Johnson is picked up by Bell.
On Thursday night, St. Louis successful at wearing this Utah team down. Their movement on the offensive end was nil by the end of that ballgame.
Shot clock at 9. The shot astray, and here comes Cleaves the other way. Spreading it to Peterson. Now over to Hudson. They swing it over to Bell. Picked up by Johnson. Inside to Hudson. There's backdoor for two.
What a pass by Charlie Bell. They had Mo Peterson coming up the top. Everybody focused that way. Charlie Bell put it right on the money to Hudson.
Texas leading the Bayou Bengals an earlier day. Fourth seed Syracuse by 2 over Kentucky. Johnson prying inside. Cullen kicks it back. Jensen wide open for 3. The conference player of the year. It's his first of the game.
You know, Utah off to a good start shooting the basketball. 3 of 5.
And Michigan State 4 of 6.
Another good pass.
Granger inside. Nice defense by Cullen. Meadow was in there, and a jump ball. Cullen with a spectacular defensive play.
Well, good pass by Cleaves over the top, and take a look as it hits the rim. He simply catches it. We'll call a jump ball here.
But he altered the progression that Granger had to the rim.
He had an easy dunk.
So the Utes with some defense, and they trailed the #1 seed Spartans in Michigan State by 1 as Althoff is checked in the game for the first time.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him with his bad back. He struggled Thursday night just simply getting up and down the court.
6'11", they need the size. Johnson to Harvey. Althoff is down there, covered by Hudson. The pass over the defense and out of bounds. 15:47 to play in the first half from Cleveland. In the second round, Michigan State by 1.
That'll never be broken. 100% from the field. Chris Owens, and 2 for 2 from the line. Had a great day.
Right, driving and scoring. Wow.
Explosive Taurus Bright. Finally some points for a guard in this ball game. The big guys have done all the damage so far.
You like that, don't you?
Oh yeah, get those guards involved.
There you go. 13-12 Longhorns. Williams thinking about the 3. Lets it fly. Takes a high shot off the rim. LSU has it.
We've gone a while without seeing Chris Mim, and with Jabari Smith out, Mim can really do some damage in this ball game when he gets back in.
Now you have to wonder if the flu has anything to do with Mim on the bench. We'll take a break. It's Texas and LSU. Longhorns by 1. Texas by 1. We expected physical, and we're getting physical play. And for more on that, let's go to our other teammate here in Salt Lake City, Mike Harris. Mike.
Martin, Craig, well, as we've been saying all along, these are two very big physical teams, and the officials have already put them on warning. Look, guys, no shoving underneath. They have been warned because some of the guys have gotten a little too physical and have been shoving. So they've been put on warning.
Oh, that's double secret probation. I don't think it's gotten to that point.
They've been warned and whistled. 4 fouls each for these clubs early in the ball game.
Wagner lost it. Bright, good defense from behind. Mim checking back in after the timeout. Little jump hook, and boy, he quickly finds the bottom of the net. 5 points.
And with Jabari Smith out for LSU, Chris Mim doing work down low.
Boy, Owens at 6'8", got the right arm up. Picked it off. Another opportunity on the offensive end. Mim trying to spin in. Taking too many steps. Mim spinning too much, picks up the turnover.
Well, he's going to get a lot of traffic coming his way. He's going to have to make quick decisions, as he did then. That was a good, strong move to the basket.
5th turnover for Texas. Rowland fires up the 3 ball. Too strong. Nearly got the bounce. Bashera, the rebound. Had another good look, but it rolls off the iron. Bright with a fresh 35 on the shot clock for LSU. Well, Bashera told us, coach has stayed with me. He stayed with me. I'm struggling, and he comes up with a game winner on Thursday.
And he is struggling today. He can't weave a basket so far.
Contact underneath as Smith, or Stromile Swift, went strong.
That young man can hop. Look at him get up off the floor, taking it strong to the basket, going up high. Mim smacking him across the arm to slow him down. Wow, he is up above the rim, going to try and dunk that thing from about 8 feet out.
61% shooter. You see his first round numbers against Southeast Missouri, 13 and 6. Smith with his 5th point. First round against Southeast Missouri State. 3 LSU players in the double figures. Bright and Swift with 13. Smith had 17. How about LSU? They shot 62% in the second half. And Stromile, Swift, yeah, he can shoot, but he can also play defense at the big day in the block department.
Doing it well from the line so far. A 62% foul shooter. 4 for 4 so far from there today.
Steal by Rowland. Tried to feed inside to Swift off his hand, and then last touched. I believe Rowland may have got a hand on it.
Well, it was a tough pass to handle from Rowland to Swift, and just flew out of bounds. Texas lucky to get it back.
Rowland now with 3 steals at the 10:38 mark. Into Clay, 2-on-2. Clay pulls up jumper short. Mim rebounds. Lost the handle, moves in, hits it off the window.
Texas doing great work on offensive boards. They've got 5 from there today, and now 10 of their points have come on second chance opportunities.
Chris Mim, first team All-America. First Texas player to ever be honored with first team honors. And from the corner, Bashera. He's still working at it. Coach staying with him, and he hits the 3 from the corner.
Well, even though he's struggled so far today, he's got to have a lot of confidence after hitting that big one on Thursday.
17 all. Clay to Wagner. Around the horn it goes to Kelly. Mim. Short jump shot. Good touch off the iron, and the rebound to LSU. Here comes Taurus Bright, the freshman. Bashera thought about the 3. Drives, hangs. Rejected by Owens.
Chris Owens throwing that shot out of there from Brian Bashera.
Wagner brings it up for Texas.
Texas needs to continue to jam it inside to Chris Mim.
Hello. Ringing the dinner bell is Kelly. He's got the 2 fouls, still playing aggressive.
That's aggressive. Darren Kelly with 2 hands punching it over Brad Bridgewater.
Rowland, 3 ball. In and out. Owens, another rebound.
Well, we got some athletes on the court this afternoon.
Owens, nice dish, low inside. Oh, Mim had a good look, but good defense by Swift.
Some athletic play by the Texas front line. Chris Owens with a swat. coming up with a turnover for Texas. And then Darren Kelly driving it down the baseline and saying hello to Mr. Bridgewater. Welcome to the NCAA tournament.
I mentioned Kelly's only 6'3", plays like he's about 6'8" on that particular jam.
The 6'8" Brad Bridgewater can testify.
Texas by 2, under 9 minutes left in the first half here in Salt Lake. Round 2 of the West region. Swift going one-on-one. Mismatch there. Underneath, Rowland got caught. And the shot falls down. LSU got the bucket. Dupree.
Yeah.
Dupree, a freshman out of Biloxi, Mississippi. Mim steps in to Clay. Fires up a knuckleball over the back. And it's Bashera. Over the back, his first.
Great offensive board work for Texas. Little dribble penetration causing the LSU players to collapse on defense, and Texas hitting the boards hard.
Wagner will inbound. Owens pulls it down. Under 8.5 to left. 8.5 minutes left here in the first half.
Big lineup on the court right now. Mim, Owens, and Manecki out there at the same time for Texas.
Wagner from long range. Boy, good looking shot, good rotation. Wagner averaging under 9 points a game out of San Antonio, knocks down to 3.
Better than 40% from three-point range this year. Ivan Wagner, great point guard and great shooter.
Well, he played 39 minutes against Indiana State. He rarely leaves the floor for Rick Barnes. Rowland.
Interesting matchup. Chris Mim guarding Ronald Dupree. Quickness advantage for LSU and Dupree.
6 on the shot clock. Looking for Swift on the post. Tough matchup there with Owens. Shot clock. You can hear the buzzer sound, and another turnover for LSU. Just good defense by Texas. Owens, free ball. Too strong. Rowland the rebound. Dupree wants it for 3. You hear some clanking right now. Quickly down court. Texas tried to save it, but another turnover. Fast and furious, strong, also play inside. You're seeing it all. LSU and Texas will come back to Salt Lake after this.
Utes lead it 17-11.
Heckworth taking the air out of the ball. Heckworth playing zone defense. We're going at it. We're going to play hard.
Great pass by Cleaves into Granger, cutting the Utah lead to 4.
Michigan State, though, scoring easily inside. They're getting all the passing angles, putting it right there.
What's that tell you?
Well, Utah's got to tighten it up a little bit defensively. You can't continue, or you probably won't at a 70% pace unless you get those. Good pass by Medela.
And he found Tony Harvey down low. He's averaging 9 points a game, the junior college transfer. 6-point lead again. Cleaves into Pusey, outside, Granger for 3. Listen there, tapped up and in by Richardson. Climbs the ladder and taps it in for 2.
Explosive off his feet. The guy we mentioned when he comes in, you must block him out.
Michigan State shooting 46%. Neither team has had more than 2 turnovers in the early going here. Pusey picked up by Ballinger. Johnson to Jensen, and Mo Peterson is right there.
Boy, good defense by Peterson.
Cleaves is on Harvey. Shot clock at 8. Jensen fights for it, and Richardson, the freshman, is on it. And Richardson, the McDonald's All-America, picks it up. That's number 1 on him. Make it number 2 on Richardson.
Probably a reason why the Spartan fan is not happy with this one. Take a look at the bounce pass knocked away by Peterson, and interesting. Didn't see that. Didn't understand the whistle, and neither did Richardson.
Althoff is back in, bad back and all. Harvey will look for him, and finally feed to Jensen.
They'll play the 2-3 zone from underneath out of bounds. Medela wide open.
With another 3, and he fans right there. Medela is their leading scorer at 17 points a game, but not the best 3-point shooter. Bell to Granger and out of bounds. Michigan State coughs it away, and that is the second turnover for the Spartans early.
Kevin, offensively, obviously Utah enjoying much success. 68%, 67 from the field. That's what Rick Majerus, that's the start he wanted. The downside is they're doing this, they're only up 4. Michigan State hanging in there doing the things they need to do.
So you're saying they may run out of gas.
Yeah, it's tough to play at this pace with all the injuries they have. I think what it looks like, they wanted to jump out to a good lead. We're going to go out, we're going to fire at them. Okay, this is a good offensive team when they move. Thursday night, St. Louis didn't allow them to move. They locked them up. And Michigan State, a solid defensive team, they try to do the same sort of way.
Meadowa laid a nice screen, but the shot was missed, and here comes Mo Peterson the other way. Looking inside for Aloysius Anaganye, who is in with a stress fracture in his right foot, coming back from that. And the freshman from Southfield, Michigan, brings the Spartans to within 2.
Kevin, obviously Spartan strategy, pounded inside. You know what has to happen? Unselfish play. Mo Peterson's only taken 1 shot. He's been willing to give himself up, pounded inside and scoring easily.
Meadowa is trying to pierce the defense of the Spartans as David Thomas is in as well, and Aloysius Anaganye with the foul.
And again, pounded inside. See if they can go to work. Utah's had a tough time with the size and the power of this Spartan team.
Anaganye, one of those high school football players who was offered a scholarship to Kentucky, turned it down, playing college basketball, and who was right near the top in the voting for Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan as Hanno Mettila, a senior from Helsinki, puts it down. The guy who's played for the Finnish national team as you see Cleves come back in, joining Thomas, Anaganye, Peterson, and Granger.
Mettila can do about everything. At 6'9", can handle it, shoots it, passer. Better probably facing the basket than he is at the low post position. All Mountain West first team this year. Missed 11 games because of injury. 8 early and then 3 in midseason.
Mettila hits the back end. Utes on top, 21-17. The big lead has been 6. On the perimeter, Cleves trolling and looking inside. Anaganye is there. Mettila fell, gets back on his feet to defend and a travel. He forced the travel on Anaganye, the freshman.
Obviously, Michigan State, when they watched Utah play St. Louis, Utah had a tough time with Justin Tatum, the kid from the Billikens, that would come in the game and use his power to score against Utah. Every time down, Tom Izzo's guys are pounding it and throwing it inside.
Michigan State comes in 27-7. Utah 23-8 as Cleves is defending Colbert. Out of bounds it goes. Colbert is just a sophomore from Altaloma, California.
When you turn the tables, though, now the bigger, stronger players from Michigan State have to go outside and cover guys like Mettila away from the basket. Cullen better face that player outside than he is posting up down low, too.
Jensen, Colbert, and Harvey comprise a 3-guard offense. And they work on Cleves, penetrating Colbert. Swings it over to Mettila from 18. Perfect. A nice mid-range jump shot.
Set a screen, pop to the opening.
Mettila has started the game 3 of 4. He's got 8 points. Anaganye with the bad wheel, guarded by Mettila. Here's Cleves. Most famous player at Michigan State in terms of athletes since Magic Johnson. He just put in a line drive, 3-point shot.
Well, line drive's correct. That's what he shoots. That's how he shoots it. Been doing it all his life. Set a double screen for him, but he helped out.
Harvey to Mettila.
Tough matchup over there. Anaganye's got to step out. Mettila's too mobile.
Cullen with the ball. Harvey for 3. Rebound by Cleves. He wants to run. Thomas on the wing, but everybody was trailing, and Utah gets back on defense.
Well, 3 red jerseys sprinted back defensively. Cleves smart enough not to attack.
Bulldozing his way is Cleves. Granger to Peterson. Bell is on the bench. Mo Pete with the 20-foot miss. Rebound is corralled by Mettila, and Utah surprising top seed Michigan State by 3. Thomas on Jensen. And Harvey picked up by Anaganye. Mettila is free. Granger late to get there, but may have altered the shot just enough. There's a whistle inside and underneath, and a foul is called on Colbert of Utah. It's Utah by 3.
We saw those 6 on Thursday. I'm not so sure, Barry, that isn't permanent tattoo. I'm not sure. Texas 32, LSU 23. Texas on a 7-2 run over the last 2 minutes. And look at Texas and the second chance points. Mr. Booker, 15, LSU only 4.
Dominating LSU on the backboards, and LSU also with 9 turnovers. Not getting it done from the field. They've had a lot of good opportunities, has LSU, but they're not converting so far.
Well, that bucket in that run was the coast-to-coast drive by Lamont Roland. As you mentioned, they've had the good look. Bashara's had a few. He hit the 3 from the corner, but yet the shots have not fallen, especially down on the low post.
And that's where they need to go. Take it in there to Swift and Smith down low.
Bashara puts it on the floor, drives, scoops. Boy, that lane is clogged up, and Bashara just lays there going, hey, help me out.
Chris Owens standing over Brian Bashara, taunting a little bit. And the shot clock at 4 still, as that shot didn't hit the rim.
Roland checks in. Out goes Collis Temple III, who played a minute. 3 on the shot. Bashara drives, hangs, good. Got it just before the shot clock buzzer went off.
Basket's good.
He didn't realize he got fouled. Bashara had run back down the court to play defense, and he's going to get a foul shooting opportunity. Big play for LSU, who had been struggling these last few moments.
And a critical foul for Texas because Kelly's got a pair, and now Gabe Maneke has 2. So a 3-point opportunity for Bashara.
See, he just needs the clock winding down. He needs that buzzer working against him to make a shot.
71% shooter. Off the iron, and the rebound goes out to William Wyatt, who's checked in for Texas. Under 4 minutes left. Maneke going one-on-one with Smith. Still has it. Hanging on the pivot. Took 1 too many steps and a turnover. Mim will check back in when we come back. A timeout. 32-25 Longhorns over the Tigers of LSU. We'll be back to Salt Lake after this. There's no lead changes. Mim with 9 points, 4 of 9 from the floor. Swift 6 points, only taking the 2 shots. 1 of 2. 32-25. Texas by 7. It's really been a first half very of second chance points, and Texas has really done a job as Bright fires up 3. Owens crashes the board. Last touch by LSU.
Excellent D that time. William Clay and Chris Mim did a great job switching and communicating to contest that shot by Taurus Bright. LSU continuing to struggle offensively, down by 7.
Lawrence Williams, nice feed down low. Mim, will he draw the crowd?
He gets great position inside and took a little hop that time. All the traffic from LSU, that's the second time he's traveled, trying to gather himself after catching the ball down low.
Been a tough week for Chris Mim. Lost his grandmother just before Texas began their trip here to Salt Lake City. Very close to her. Rick Barnes told us, you know, maybe it hasn't even really settled in yet, and then he fights the flu here in Salt Lake.
William Clay playing some very aggressive defense there, picking up that foul.
Bright will go to the free throw line.
Taurus Bright at the free throw line for LSU. 1-1.
1-1 for Bright.
Chris Mim, the dominant player for Texas, doing good work inside, scoring on offensive rebounds and feeds down low. Has a couple of turnovers, but really the dominant player so far in this ballgame.
Bright makes both free throws. He has 4 points. LSU still striking distance with down 5 with just under 3 minutes left. One thing Texas did against Indiana State, Barry, in that first half was going a 15-1 run, just blew out the Sycamores. They were down 25-24 and then went on a 15-1 run, and they were up by 13 at the half. Swift inside, reverse shot, Bright, and then Swift and Jabari Smith were there. And they're going to give the jam down to Jabari Smith, his second bucket.
A two-hand dunk by 2 different players for LSU.
Mim puts it on the floor. It'll be Texas basketball.
Well, offensive rebounding has gone Texas' way for most of the day, but this time Torres Bright gets it on the rim. Mim can't block it, so crashing the board strong go Jabari Smith and Stromal Swift. Smith gets the deuce.
Well, so far that's a rare second chance opportunity by LSU. LSU on a 6-0 run off the front of the iron. Tigers want to run. Bright forcing the tempo, gives it off. Finger roll wouldn't go. Another look by Rowland. It was there and rolled off.
Good feed by Bright, good setup, but again, LSU getting a great shot at the basket, just not able to get it down.
Under 2 minutes left in the half. Wagner around the screen, takes it up and in.
For Texas, Ivan Wagner slashing to the hole, playing very well today for the Texas Longhorns with 8 points.
A couple of threes inside those 8 points. A third team all Big 12 pick. A minute 30 remaining.
See if LSU can get it inside, get Stromal Swift involved.
Bridgewater in, nice feed, and there's a flush. Hello.
That's getting him involved. Good feed by Bashara, good job by LSU moving it around, getting it to their main man.
34-31. Texas. Owens on the wing. Hands off to Wagner. Spots up for a three. Mim, backside rebound, and then Roy took another step. Boy, that's 3 turnovers this half where the big fella has shuffled his feet, and he looks frustrated.
No doubt. He's not sure what's going on, why that call is going against him.
And a timeout call by Texas. I think Rick Barnes wants to get an answer or two as well. We'll be back. Don't go away.
And for LSU, trying to get it inside to Stromal Swift. He's down inside, trying to post up down low. And the ball is here. They're trying to swing it around. They swing it over to Bashara, kick it inside. Stromal Swift, the easy flush. Great ball movement. Stromal hammering it home. Stromal Swift, 8 points, 4 for 4 from the line. Stromal only 62% from there on the year, but getting it done from the line and inside.
Well, Mim has done the shuffle. Here in the, I'm not saying it's just shuffle. He's not playing shuffleboard. Those feet are shuffling. He's been called 3 times for traveling. Swift up high. Too strong. Contact underneath and a push.
That's 3. Jabari Smith picking up his 3rd. And I'm sure John Brady told him, just don't foul. Send him back in the game to play a little offense in the last minute of this first half. And Jabari Smith goes over the back, getting his 3rd foul, and that's a big blow for LSU.
Takes a seat with 4 points. Second team All-SEC pick. Final seconds of the first half. Shot clock is off. Texas playing for the final shot.
I'm sure they'll be looking for Chris Mim at the end of this sequence here.
And working on Bridgewater, who has to come in for the foul-plagued Jabari Smith. 7 left on the game clock. Inside, Owens wrap around to Mim. Too strong. Bright got the rebound. And at the buzzer, throws it up. And that's going to do it. 20 minutes, round 2 here in Salt Lake City. Good physical game. Rick Barnes even now doing some jawing on the officials about those traveling calls against Chris Mim. What a surprise. 3 times the whistle was called. Let's go down now courtside. Here's Mike Harris.
All right, thanks, Craig. Coach, what do you tell your team in the locker room?
Well, I think we got to do a better job on the...
All right, thank you, Mike. Texas leading LSU 34-31 at the half. Back to New York, and here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Craig, so it's the Longhorns by 3 at the break. We want to send you now to the Midwest region action taking place in Cleveland. 8th seed Utah with a 3-point lead on the top seed Spartans of Michigan State. Let's go live. Kevin Harlan, John Sunfold.
The 8th seed Utah leading the top seed Spartans of Michigan State 33-30. Inside, Metallic tries and the runner won't go. And Jensen vacuums in the rebound with a fresh shot clock, and Johnson is there, goes by 2. Spoon feeds Althoff inside.
Motion offense, they've spread the floor too quick off the dribble for the big guys of Michigan State right now.
Cleves almost lost the ball. Fine defense by Harvey as they turn up those defensive screws. And Hudson inside was trying to shimmy and fouled on the play by Althoff, who picks up number 1.
Well, Big Nate, we talked about his back problems, and you can see him bending over, holding the lower back, trying to stretch it a little bit. He's being banged around to the offensive end, and defensively has to guard big Andre Hudson in the post.
Tom Izzo smiling now, but his team is staggering with all that weaponry. The top seed Spartans trail by 5. Trailing 35-30. Their biggest deficit has been 6. What has Michigan State not done and Utah done, John Sunday, to get this thing where it is?
Every time Michigan State turns up the defensive pressure, they want to get chest to chest with you. The 2 guys that have been able to break it down, Hanno Metala and Phil Cullen, both 6'9", been able to get it one bounce by their Spartan defender, the bigger, stronger Spartans. All of a sudden, the help defense has had to come over. They've been able to move the ball cleanly, and they're shooting about 57% from the field.
Here's the former high school basketball player of the year in the state of Ohio, Andre Hudson.
How about his start?
He's been outstanding today.
11 points already.
Yeah. And he's only averaging 9 a game. 35-32, Utah, the 8th seed against top-seeded Michigan State. Harvey with Cleves on him. And a travel on Tony Harvey.
Well, only the 3rd turnover of the first half by Utah. They've done an outstanding job in their half-court offense.
Earlier today, Syracuse earns a spot in the Sweet 16 by beating Kentucky in a very close game, 52-50. And now the top seed Spartans battling Utah. Cleves. And Harvey guards him. Granger with the move. And Aganye is in, the freshman.
Still looking to pound it inside.
And Peterson couldn't find the handle. Cleves cleans it up. Good steal made by Johnson. And down court for Harvey. Saves the ball. Calls the timeout before his momentum carried him out of bounds.
Active defense, active hands, active steals. Utes still up by 3.
Utah Utes bring the most experienced team into the field of 64. Now whittled down even more over the first couple days. This team has seen a lot. Final Four a couple years ago in '98, led by Rick Majerus.
Well, that man lulled everybody into thinking we'll take the air out of this ball. We're just going to stall. We're not going to shoot it very often, but entirely different to what he told his team before this ball game. We're going out. We're going to run. We're going to spread the floor out. Motion offense, set some screen. Shoot the ball well, guys, and they have.
56% to Michigan State's 50%. Turnovers, 6 for the Spartans, 3 for the Utes. And the shot clock at 20, big clock at 37. It's Metallic, who began very athletically in the game, across the lane, trying to feed, stripped to the ball. Peterson digs it out.
See if they go for one or they'll back it out. Timeout.
Cleves will call it. Cleves, the senior from Flint, the 2-time big-time player of the year. Utah by 3.
Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half. Sponsored by Pennzoil. Specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Welcome to Pennzoil at the Half, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. And as Utah and Michigan State begin to wind down, you and I have we're talking about this for a good part of the afternoon today. Rick Majerus is sometimes underestimated, not by his fellow coaches, but by the general public. He does a heck of a job.
He really does, and he's got a strong team, a lot of weapons. They shoot the 3, they've got size, and they're very, very experienced. People probably surprised by this score, but Utah almost playing a perfect game so far in the first half.
All right, Clark, in Cleveland earlier today.
Harvey makes the steal on a pass that Cleves tried to shove down and trying to beat the buzzer off the top of the backboard, and ricochets out of bounds. And that's it. There's a lot to be happy if you're Rick Majerus, his beaten-up team with an injury-riddled lineup on top of Michigan State, 35-32. And let's check in with Debbie Antonelli.
advantage inside.
Syracuse sophomore Preston Shumpert gives the Orange the lead with the jump shot. The Wildcats looking to tie. Here's Kevin Harlan.
And Bogans will drive, handcuffed, off balance for the tie. And they don't get it, and Syracuse will advance.
So Jim Boeheim and the Orange Men of Syracuse, the first entry into this year's Sweet 16, 52-50. Other games headed your way today here on CBS. Purdue, Oklahoma out of the West. Auburn and Iowa State from the Midwest. Wisconsin and top seed Arizona out of the West. And then later on this evening, Gonzaga and number 2 St. John's. UCLA against Maryland. We'll take a break here and let's send you to Salt Lake City for more as we continue down the road to the Final Four.
Pennzoil at the Half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.